Welcome back, everyone. This is game number 3 of 3 in the semi-final of the Go for SC2 qualifier number 3. And that means that the winner of this game will get a seat at WCS EU. They will qualify. It will be tense. It will be brilliant. And of course, we are spawning on Akalon Wastes. It is a TvP. And a TvP means one thing, and one thing only. We should see lots of Vikings, lots of Ghosts, lots of Hellions, lots of Widow Mines. Well, game 1 and 2 have been spectacular. Game 3 should be sensational. I'm Madals. With me is Lyrlian. And Lyrlian, would you like to go ahead and do the player introductions?
Yeah, I'm not late to the party at all. I'm here right on time to introduce both these players. In the bottom right, playing for Navi, a newly established StarCraft 2 team, it is the green player, Strelok. And in the top left spawn position, playing for Neurosoft, it is the red Protoss player, Welmu. And I was gonna tell you about the other match that is going on. Where the teammate of Welmu, Kras, is playing in. And they just finished their first game, and I have no idea who won the first game.
Very good information you had there, Lyrlian. That was incredible, functional, and helpful. In this game, I can tell you what is going on there. And that Strelok is going for the barracks first. Meanwhile, Welmu getting 1 gate, 1 gas. And that's good, because 1 gate and 1 gas means that it's relatively normal. And relatively normal means we may be in store for a bit of a longer game. And being game 3, with a WCS EU spot on the line, I really don't think either player is going to go for an all-in or a really risky strategy.
Yes, that's all in the realm of the possibilities. I'm expecting macro. Yep. But I'm expecting Strelok to, after this command center, early command center build that he's going for, to still go into the middle Widow Mine drops, still go into dropping action, multi-pronged attacks that we've seen him do before. I mean, they won him the first game, so he's gonna have to try that again. Last game, he made a big mistake, and he doesn't want to make that again. He's not going to be sending out his first Reaper and be caught off guard by Zealots. He will not let that happen again.
Yeah, he's chucking down the bunker really early. Meanwhile, Welmu, he's got his second gas up now. He's kind of boosting out the Stalker, and he's yet again going for just a little bit of poking and prodding, most likely. We see that the Pro is on its way down, and that just means with the Pro, the SCV was on its way out, so the SCV has seen most of it, saw the chrono boost, that's important. Welmu now going for a Twilight Council, so this is an interesting opening.
It definitely is. Is this going to be a Blink all-in? Is this going to be another Dark Templar build?
Well, the thing with Blink,
what does he...
there was a point where this map was incredibly easy to abuse Mothership Core Vision of the high ground and go for a Blink Stalker play, but then they nerfed the reset speed in the beta of Blink. But Welmu's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, everything's on the line, and he's going for a 1 base Blink all-in. It's...
Well, you wouldn't expect it, would you?
I wouldn't. No, definitely not. So let's see how Strelok is going to be reacting to this. The best possible scenario is where Strelok is not going to be making a lot of Marines and Marauders early, and will have as little units out on the field as possible. He is going for a factory. That means his units will be delayed, and he is going for a reactor on his barracks. So for now, he only has 5 Marines at his disposal. It really depends on what he makes out of that factory. Hellions, bad. Widow Mines, good.
And that is completely correct. The Hellions, well, Widow Mines are essential here. If he gets some Widow Mines out, he can defend this, dare I say it, easily. But if he doesn't, more importantly, if he doesn't identify that this is coming, which, to be fair, he has very little idea about. If I look at the vision of Kras, he does know the second gas is down. So he may have some indication that this is something somewhat untoward. But having said that, we see now a proxy robotics facility. So it's not even going to be a mothership core, it's just going to be an observer.
What?
Okay. Okay.
Hell.
Okay.
What?
But he's got the mothership core as well. Now I'm confused. Like, really confused.
This SCV is going to see it. This SCV is going to scout. But it's going to be a little while before he actually sees that. But he starts the second bunker. Nevertheless, the first siege tank is on the way. That's exactly what he needed. That first siege tank is going to be helpful so much. Blink has finished up. Welmu has to go now. Absolutely now. He has no time to waste. He's got to move with haste.
Well done, you rhymed there. I'm impressed. I saw you smiling to yourself. However, the SCVs have already been called for the bunker. The mothership core is there, getting focused down. It's pulled back really quite desperately. He doesn't manage to get away, but the bunker will survive. A tank there as well. And with Blink, meanwhile, an observer coming out. And this is where potentially Welmu could trick Strelok, because he's going to think I killed the mothership core. I'm safe. But Blink was revealed. Is he going to think he'll blink up without a mothership core there? Well, he's pulling the tank up. I just don't know. Is he going to do it?
He'll have to. This is an all-in. He's got to have to make a play at some point, and Strelok is in a perfect position. If he blinks up, he's dead. Oh.
Yeah, blinking up is tanked. Out is the technical term we're doing up.
Yeah, now he's gonna have to micro stalkers, and he's doing that well. Oh, he does get one trap. It's a painful loss, and Strelok is defending this close to perfectly. Welmu is going to be feeling very, very bad right now. The SCVs are still in position to defend at the bunkers. There's 2 bunkers. These Zealots and Stalkers are going to be going down pretty quickly. The siege tanks are completely out of position, though. Maybe he can make something work here. There's not that much DPS in 6 Marines.
No, there's not. And as you can see, a lot of SCVs were actually taken down. There are 11 in total this game. And now the tank's down, it will be a bit harder, but the first bunker should now fall. So that in itself is quite nice, but the tank fire is coming in. Well, we're going to be forced back, and he's still... Well, he's completely all in at this point. He can't expand behind this because Strelok has blocked it. So that in itself is causing Welmu to be 100% all in. There's no way to transition out of this. He has to win the game here and now. But his observer's still out. The Stalkers... pushing up this front, I don't think it's going to work here. The Zealots are going up first. The tank is going to go for it, and Welmu, well, that Zealot warping was brilliant. And Welmu, he's doing okay. There is still a lot of Marines, though, and I think with just that many Marines, this is going to be really, really cool.
It is really, really close. Those 2 siege tanks going down was a bit of a blunder by Strelok. He didn't have enough. Oh, those Stalkers have to be so careful. They cannot engage it. There's 2 siege tanks on the high ground. He keeps most of his Stalkers alive. 3 of them very, very low on HP. This game is not over yet. If he's able to deny this orbital command, it might go on for a little while longer. Of course, a lot of workers have already been lost. Strelok is still ahead in the work count, though. The 3rd siege tank is about to pop out. That's going to make the whole difference in the world. These Stalkers very low on HP. It is such a tense situation. Qualification for WCS EU Premier Division is on the line. It is all coming down to this. It's all coming down to micro.
It is all coming down to micro, and Welmu doing it well currently. Strelok has just started his next command center. Welmu started his natural at his 3rd, but critically, Strelok has kept up his natural. Okay, that is critical to this. The worker count is exactly the same, 31-31, which favours Strelok, and he's also going to be producing 2 SCVs at a time compared to 1 at a time for Welmu. Also, the 3rd command center coming down. This is getting pretty crazy, but Strelok is definitely ahead, quite substantially. However, a Templar Archives is on its way for Welmu now.
Yeah, what is he going to do with that? I don't know, maybe make a few Archons? Storm, of course, not the best thing to have when your opponent has a lot of siege tanks in his army composition, but Storm does work kind of well against a big mech army with a lot of Hellbats. And siege tanks, when they are sitting still, they are pretty vulnerable to storms themselves. And it is going to be Storm, so the high Marine count will evaporate on the Storm, but the siege tanks will have to get dealt with by the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, and these, well, this is just going to be a really, really crazy game now, and Welmu is desperately going to need to pump out a lot of probes really quickly. Seeing that 3rd command center with the Observer isn't going to be too much to the joy of the Protoss player, because that means that he's even further economically behind than he originally thought he was. And this is just such a tough situation for Welmu, because on the one hand he wants to keep the pressure going rather than keep back, but on the other hand he so desperately needs to try and catch up economically.
It's difficult to catch up economically. For example, that probe transfer he just did lasted like 20 seconds longer because they have to run through his 3rd. And Hellions trying to escape, trying to scout. They weren't able to see much. Strelok still has no idea that the additional base is up for Welmu, but the Hellions have now been able to escape, so they should be able to get a feel of what's happening.
Well, they push forward, they see that there are a couple of Stalkers down here. Good little blink there, but one Hellion will manage to make its way through. We'll see that there isn't a natural. We'll come straight up into the main base and we'll scout so critically that Templar Archives.
Yeah, sees the Templar Archive, sees it researching something and sees it stopping. to research something. And guess what? There's only one upgrade you can get at the Templar Archive, so Storm just finished up. Perfect scout there by Strelok, but he still doesn't know about that additional base, I don't think. But he's going to assume that was taken. I think he will know that.
Yeah, well, it'd be crazy to go on one base to go for like a lot of Stalkers and Templar Archives and get Stalkers. Wouldn't have the money for it, so I think he knows. In terms of the work count at the moment, Strelok is ahead 53 to 49, and he's also getting a 4th command center, so he's really pumping the economical front. This robotics facility on the other side of the map pumping Iron Immortal, because Strelok is yet again going quite heavy on the tank, so you need a good count of Immortals. But all in all, Strelok is still ahead this game, and that's the fundamental thing. So Welmu does have to do something quite impressive if he wants to win this game.
He has to to do something really impressive. He's getting his army composition together, though. Strelok is not looking invincible just yet. But if that third base gets up and running, and with the 4th base that he's already constructing, things are starting to become a little bit dangerous. The Blinkstalkers doing a good job and doing what they do best, and that is blinking around, doing damage, trying to kite and delay this turn. Uh-oh, that Immortal, though, that's not going to be able to run very far.
No, it's not going to be able to run very fast. The Storms do hit one, gets a decent amount. The second one, not really hitting anything at all. But the tanks are taking quite a bit of fire. An aggressive for Blink. Hellions coming into the main base, though, and that could be a bit of a problem for Welmu. These Hellions, what is there to clean them up? Well, one Stalker getting warped in at the moment, but a couple of probes are dead to dying right now.
Yeah, a couple of probes already gone down. FXO Strelok, Navi Strelok has retreated back into his natural. He's going to be defending his 3rd from the attack that Welmu might be launching. Those Hellions are still running around, and there is an Immortal that's going to make quick work of them. Actually, all 3 Hellions stay alive, so nice micro there by Strelok. Got a full scout, killed a few workers, and kept 3 out of 4 Hellions alive.
I'm just amazed at how many Immortals are coming out of this proxy robotics facility. It's pretty amazing how long Welmu's been able to keep that. And Welmu is only 19 supply behind. And the worker count is still favouring Strelok, and of course he's got the mules. And unfortunately finally that robo will go. But by moving out, Strelok is exposing himself slightly to a little bit of a counterattack.
He is. Those Falkers are getting in a position to counterattack. There are a few Hellbats there to do some damage and delay the push a little bit. But the bunker that used to be there is no longer in position. These Stalkers can blink away, but the Zealot and the Immortal will most likely go down. We don't have any chasing units, you know. There's no Stim Marines and Marauders, so they will not be able to pick off that Immortal. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is... Well, that was really good. 2 tanks for 1 Stalker. Definitely a good trade there. Welmu, he is starting to fall further behind there now, because the 4th Orbital Command is floating down. As I the 4th command center will probably become a planetary fortress on its way down there for Strelok. He's really starting to get a great economy. He's got a bit of engagement here. Welmu's base, though, starting to hit that storm. Okay, needs some more though. So desperately another storm as the retreat goes down from Strelok. Basically, Welmu just trying to buy himself some time. He is behind by 55 supply.
And like Harstem said on Twitter, always bid on the Terran. Always bet on the Terran, and that seems to be the good thing to do today, because this Terran player is in a fantastic position to go ahead and win this game.
There's a double Hellbat drop coming into the main base for Welmu as well, and I don't think he's got much to defend here. Meanwhile, Strelok is starting to move forward. The Stalker's desperate to go back. A lot of Stalkers blinking forward to take it out. That exposes the
Ooh, a good storm there. Softens up a lot of the Hellbats, and there's no medevacs around. And as I say that, one medevac flies out. So we'll be able to start healing those Hellbats a little bit, but there's not a lot of stuff around to heal those Hellbats. So any damage done will be working out. Welmu, is he going to go for it? He tries to push down the ramp, but he just cannot. You cannot break a siege position like this. And yeah, the supplies really tells him to stay with this game.
Welmu, he could have lost on that early